There's three key things that couples who communicate really well do better than 90 something percent of all the others out there. And the first is they make it way more uncomfortable to not live in their truth fully. Say whatever's on their mind, whatever needs to be spoken to their partner, laying all their cards on the table, if you will, than it is to not give your truth, to give a watered down version of your truth, or withhold information because you're scared of how your partner will feel about it, or you're scared of feeling awkward in the moment for saying something that you know may be hard to hear. This is because they've reached a space to where they would rather say the thing they know their partner doesn't really want to hear and it doesn't feel comfortable and good to even have to say, than going to bed at night with unresolved issues weighing on them, right? On their conscience and on their shoulders, to where now they start to walk around building resentment or feeling upset and, internal pain and things is unresolved because they want to speak their truth to their partner. They'd rather put it all on the table and work through it because they built the muscle to lean into conflict and not run from it. The second thing couples that communicate really well do better than most is they actively listen to each other, which means they actually aim to understand the other person, not prove them wrong. See, couples that communicate well understand that we're butting heads because we're not understanding each other. We're at a difference of opinion, whatever. We keep, getting off track for some reason. And if I'm going to actually resolve this with you, I have to genuinely want to understand you and why you're thinking the way you think and why we're on different pages. I understand how I think, but clearly I'm not getting how you do and you're not getting me. So I got to stop for a second and truly want to understand you so I can figure out how we can work together, because we both actually want peace, right? But when you don't get this, you want to spend more time trying to prove your partner wrong and tell them why they're off and why they don't make sense and why you're right and all these other things. And you both just keep on clashing. And that brings me to the third thing that couples who communicate really well do better than most, in which you really can't do the second thing unless you build this third thing, right? Which is couples who communicate well really have built the muscle and the grit, right? The security within themselves to be able to sit in the fire and actually listen to their partner's feelings. Because usually what makes it hard to sit and actually listen to your partner or the other person is because they say something that triggers you or it attacks your character, or at least it feels that way, right? And maybe it paints you as a bad person or not who you see yourself as, and you turn up or you jump to defend yourself. But couples, two individuals in that couple that have built the muscle, have built the security in themselves, have the sense of certainty and reassurance of who they are, right? And that whatever their partner says doesn't have to necessarily mean it's a fact for themselves, can sit there and allow their partner to actually express themselves without jumping in too much, not defending themselves at every turn, right? To actually hear what their partner's thoughts are and what they believe and why they believe it. See, most people, and we all could be guilty of this, I definitely have been in the past, right? The moment you hear the other person say something that's really triggering because it really goes against your character or something like that you really don't believe and you feel is not true, you instantly turn to shoot it down and fight back. But as you reach more of a healed and whole space, you start to realize, yeah, I know what they said is triggering to me. And sometimes, hey, we're human. You might say, well, hey, hold on, I don't agree with that. But being able to stop and reel back and still let them finish is everything. But you can't do that unless you built that muscle to be secure within yourself. And so if you do have insecurities, you do have things about yourself internally that you need to rectify or do better with and so forth, and you're kind of guilty of, it's going to be really hard to sit there and listen to your partner's truth, no matter how right or wrong or accurate or inaccurate you believe them to be. But when you're willing to lean into conflict and live in your truth 100% and say exactly what you feel needs to be said, but in return are able to actively listen to your partner, to allow them to express themselves no matter how accurate or inaccurate you think they're being. And then you have the security within yourself to where whatever they say doesn't have to mean something about you, to where you have to feel this triggered response to defend yourself. When you can accomplish doing all three successfully, you and your partner will communicate so much better, right? You'll be able to communicate really effectively, really constructively, and really productively. If that's something you and your partner need help with, or you yourself need help with, to get to that space where you can have way better productive conversations in your relationship so you guys can be healthy and blossom better together, DM me coaching and I'll help you and we'll get to work. Let's get it.